Okay, welcome back everybody. This is Professor Nardi, the Ex-Phys guy here, continuing the mini-series on credentials, degrees, letters that come after people's names, right? In one of the previous videos I talked about what kinds of undergraduate degrees there were, master's degrees there were, doctoral or terminal degrees there were. Now, some questions that I have actually had from students is, well, what do the letters after somebody's name mean, or how am I supposed to actually list my credentials in something like an email signature or a resume for, a couple of examples. What I've done is I've used myself, that's me, Professor Nardi, and I've put what I would actually have in my email signature. And the way typically, I guess we'll call it proper. What's proper is to, obviously you'll have your name first, and then you'll have your highest academic degree. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to list multiple academic degrees, typically. So, for example, even though I have a Bachelor's of Science, a Master's of Education, and a PhD, they're pretty much all in extremely similar fields. They're all in health, exercise science, those kinds of areas. So I really only should list PhD. Now, let's say I also had an MBA, a Master's of Business Administration. I could actually insert that here. Oh, my marker has, there we go, an MBA, and I'll put an asterisk there. Because those are two very different degrees. I don't have an MBA, so it's not listed in my signature. But if you did, if the degrees were that different and they were also pertinent to your job or your field, then yes, list them both. All right. After that, what you would actually do is list any licensure that you may have. Now, in my field, which is Health, Human Performance, Clinical Health, RCEP stands for Registered Clinical Exercise Physiologist. We don't have licensure, not in my state. We do not have licensure yet. Hopefully that'll change. That's a whole different beast. But we do have certifications. And the field of health and wellness has a slew of different certifications. There are endless certifications that are out there now. The ones that I list in my email signature are my clinical exercise physiologist and my certified strength and conditioning specialist, because they're they're different and they're pertinent to my job or future jobs, and then my exercise is medicine level 3 credential. So what you would do first is academic degree, a second academic degree if it's wildly different and pertinent, and then a licensure that you have. In my case, I don't, so I just go ahead with certifications. All right. A good example of somebody who might have an academic degree, a licensure, and a certification is somebody like a nurse, right? Because you would have, well, minimum, you would have a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, or you probably would actually have a BN, Bachelor's of Nursing. Then you would list your RN here. Registered nurse. That tells me that you are licensed to practice as a nurse. You've passed your, I believe it's NCLEX, which is the national exam. So then you would have certifications. Let's say you're ACLS. I'm not up on, I know there's a lot of different certifications and subcategories in nursing. I'm not up on all of them. I apologize. But this is a really good example of somebody who would have an academic degree, a licensure, and a certification. I think they do bachelor's of nursing or bachelor's of science in nursing. I may be totally wrong on that, but either way, your academic degree, or it could be a master's, right? Master's, MRN, and then RN. So your academic degree, licensure, certification, and that's it. Really pretty. It can be complicated when you're a young individual or you're a young student trying to figure it out. It can actually be very complicated if, number one, somebody lists all of their credentials. I'm telling you right now, not only do you not have to do that, 9.5 out of 10 times you don't want to list all of your credentials. All right. As a matter of fact, let's rewind on all of this, and let's say I was going to post a resume or my curriculum vitae. All right. What I would actually do is I would take away my EIM credential and probably my CSCS as well, and probably my RSEP, okay, to just leave it as that's me, and then I would have a separate section, okay, that actually said certifications, okay, and then you can list them all there, and you can list every single one of them. I'm a certified exercise physiologist, I'm a certified registered clinical exercise physiologist, CSCS and EIM3. Here's where you would also put CPR, ACLS. I don't believe I have, I believe I let those expire, so I might not have those anymore, but that's where you would list all of that. Now, I would certainly not list all of this in something like an email signature. And you definitely don't want a long string of credentials after your primary line on something like your resume. All right. So hopefully this video shined a little bit of light on, best ways to list your credentials, what you would be looking for in an email signature. Again, chances are you'll find most people list way more than they need to. I've always been under the philosophy that less is more. All right.